So we wanted to build something iconic, something great. And every time I'm setting up a learning organization, a corporate university, every time I'm thinking, what do I have to do to unlearn? Because it's easy to copy things from the past. The environment is different, the culture is different, the people are different, the age groups are different. And we came up with something, a slogan here, you can see here, it's I learn, we grow. That's our mantra. It's about I learn, it's all about individuality. And in the 21st century, it's not about consumption anymore. It's about consumption, but also about sharing and also about interacting. You see here, I teach and I learn, I network, I collaborate, I decide how and what I learn. It's about freedom, and I choose where and when I learn. So that's an environment and a cultural environment of learning that we're setting up. How do knowledge people, as we're all knowledge workers, no? How do knowledge workers learn? How do we train? And I think we're a little bit messed up with the definition. About 10 years ago, we changed our training departments into learning departments. But actually for the rest, we didn't change too much. People learn all the time. You all know this, the 70-20-10 model, no? 10% of what people learn are in a class or in an e-class or in something that's instructional design. But the other 90%, we don't really focus enough on this. Every year, top 100 learning tools. Go online, Jane Hart, H-A-R-T, and you can find of several thousand of people who are indicating what tools they're using for learning. Strangely enough, the top 1, 2, 3 tools are Google, are Twitter, are PowerPoint, are Dropbox, those type of tools that people use as their own learning. But if you then look ourselves in the training group or in the learning group, these are the tools that we typically don't use. So how do you create an ecosystem? There's a learning philosophy I'm backing this up. For me, the old way is a trainer-driven way, where the just-in-case, event-based classroom, where we're focusing on inputs. What I do believe is where the employee is in charge, is a model where learning is just in time. And it's not about micro-learning. I think I fully disagree with what the panel said earlier. The worst thing we can do is create all this micro-learning. Because this micro-learning is available already. But it is a continuous process, multiple methods of learning, focus on output. What are we doing with it? I think training. You know when training was invented? It started in the Industrial Revolution, where we had a production view of learning, where we're bringing lots of people in classes, first the adults, 150-year-old paradigm, is kind of the standard against which we check everything. I think it works really well for kids, but Malcolm Knowles, you know, inventor of andragogy, adult education, actually has proven big time that this doesn't work for adults. I don't believe in corporate curricula, I do believe in personalized curricula. Everybody should be able to create their own path to excellence. Given that we're all learning professionals, give me the freedom to create my own path, whatever area I want to go. There's 2 ways of setting up your corporate university or your learning group. One way is a supermarket model or a boutique shop model. A supermarket model is all about efficiency. I have all these courses, all these programs, all these e-learnings. I have to set them up in an easy and efficient way. The boutique shop model is a different model. It's basically like what you're seeing here. You can go for a suit, to either a ready-made store, or you can go to a tailor. And that's what I'm also trying to set up with learning. I'm trying to set up a boutique shop environment with my teams. Supermarket model is indeed focusing on the 10% in the 70-20% model. It's focusing on classes. It's focusing on individual learning. A boutique shop model is all about output. It's all about going deep. It's all about rolling up your sleeves and going deep into a problem. Because I'm not in the business of doing classes. I'm in the business of transformation. I'm here to help you solve a number of problems from a knowledge and learning perspective. I'm not saying training. That's something completely different. Everybody, since last 20 years ago, has been struggling around ROI. No return on investment for my training. But we're still struggling big time, you know. Basically, because many of us who are asking that questions are in a supermarket model. In a supermarket model, you only have classes. So it's really hard to prove your value. In a boutique environment, you can have a 10, 20, and 70 very easily. Because you can have a very varied approach to learning. Maybe give you an example. We're rolling out a management development program. Now, at the core of this management development program is a stupid little questionnaire that we send to subordinates of those managers every month. Did I have at least 2 one-on-one meetings with my team member, with my manager? Did I have a monthly team session? Did my manager praise me for something in the last month? And 2 more questions. So that questionnaire for me is in the middle of everything. Much more important than the classes, or the e-learnings, or the books, or whatever we're doing. And every month we're doing that. And every month we're checking whether there's an improvement in this and that. So this is something that's coming from this boutique shop idea. Use design thinking, use system thinking to look at the root cause of what you have. It's not about classes. Also have classes, but what do you do to really move the needle? People are actually having more sessions with their subordinates, more team meetings. And if there's no one-on-one discussion with your manager, of course no goodness can come from it, you know? That's the basic hygiene factor of any managerial thing. This is the model, Jane Hart's model on modern workplace learning. To me, it's an upgrade from 10-20-70. Basically talks about value and autonomy. This is value. Now, courses have the least value and give the least autonomy to people. Somebody else is deciding the dates and the trainer and everything, you know? Now, what is extremely important is the next layer is resources. Do people have access to stuff? And then level 3 and level 4 is social collaboration and personal learning. Specifically, it doesn't say social learning. Social learning gives an excuse to many of people who still want to be married in the 20th century to add something social to your classes. There's more social collaboration happening outside of classes than that you can imagine. And personal learning. Personal learning, very important. It's about LinkedIn, it's about being in the shower, it's about reflection, about maintaining a network type of thing. So we're creating something that's happening. Now what are we doing with Flipskool? We've coined the Corporate University for Flipkart as the Flipskool. For us, this is not a training center, or even a learning center for that matter. This is a place for knowledge and performance. This is a place, and mainly of course online, for employees, partners and consumers to learn new things, to explore the present and the past. This is the castle that we've built. I have 3 groups. One group I call on this side the capability engine around knowledge management. I have marketing people there. I have multimedia. I have learning IT type of people and program management. They're creating the environment. Then I have 4 academies. The 2 top ones, I think it's pretty straightforward. That's what we do, supply chain and e-commerce. And then I have one which is called Flipkart Way Academy. This is basically how we do things here. This is about induction. This is about leadership. And then I have one more which is a bit crazy that makes people laugh all the time, is a Happiness Academy. How can I celebrate my own passions? We're also focusing on the organizational happiness component, which is a function of engagement. And then I have a group which I call Learning Business Partners, who are actually constantly dealing with business to check out whatever we have, what we can roll out, what performance consulting they need to do. In practice, some of the things that we're doing For instance, all of our directors, they get subscriptions to HBR and MIT Technology. We have a coaching and mentoring program that we launched. We also brought in learning to train internal coaches. We have a personal learning wallet, which we're launching in the beginning of next year, where basically everybody will have a budget to decide on their own learning. No managerial involvement. We have created a video channel, very powerful. We do lots of Flipster to Flipster sessions. A Flipster is a Flipkart employee, you know? And we do lots of sessions where we celebrate people's knowledge. I'm always saying I have 35,000 trainers in my organization. All people that have something meaningful to say. How do I create a platform for people just to stand up on a stage live and virtual stage so they can share their knowledge? People love it. Very, very powerful. Doesn't cost anything. That's maybe something that you could take away. Focus on impact. Binny's pushing me big time to focus on impact all the time. So it's not about classes, it's about output. And how do you do that? We have books our leaders read. Extremely popular. Doesn't cost anything either. It's kind of aspirational. This is what my leaders are reading. Very powerful. So many beautiful things we're creating. If you don't have the right marketing tools and ideas and approaches, it's hard to get everybody behind you. So that's a bit what we're trying to do. Maybe some things I'd like you to remember. Modern workplace learning. I learn, we grow. Individualism. Thinking outside of the box. And I think basically being creative in an environment where, in our case then, millennials are 99% of the population, we have to do things very, very differently. There's 1 minute. There was a research done by PwC, I think, in 2014, millennials. And they said that millennials, they like learning 3 times more than salary. So all of us, yes, all the training folks and the learning folks said, yes, we're going to make a killing. And you see, I've told you all the time to your CEO. But when you dig a bit deeper, they hate classes. They hate even more e-learnings or micro-learning or all that stuff. They hate it thoroughly. What they mean with learning is they want development. They want somebody to take them by the hand. They want a coach, they want a mentor, they want a caring manager or caring peers to help them. So that was also a little bit of a fire and ice moment for a lot of learning focus. But it is so important. So if you can kind of, if you're not already doing it already, move a little bit your focus on equipping people towards the development piece and away from the learning piece, then I think we'd be all doing a great favor to our organization.